Hello people of YouTube and welcome back to this small, tight, cramped corner of my room. Not too sure why I'm doing it like this. I suppose I'm trying to get a reveal of the game room once I've finally done it. I've put so much work into this game room. I just want to sort of like show it off properly, but I'm not going to be able to because it's a bit dark in here, I've got to say. So I would like to get like a decent camera, and I won't be able to afford one of them for a while because I've got addictions and yeah. So I think I'll probably just do sort of like a teaser because I know a lot of people are interested in what I'm doing. Doing a lot of hard work on my own and doing stuff that I've never done before, which I'm loving. To be honest, I love just yeah, tinkering basically, just making sure this game room is right. And it is definitely turning out right for me. This is something that I've been thinking about for years, and it's nice to actually get it into reality slowly but surely. Now we're sort of like slowing down a little bit, mainly because we're nearly there. But we've got quite a lot of pickups to show beforehand. Before I do that, because a lot I'd like to sort of like have on display. There's a lot of games that I picked up recently. That basically have been bought for just like art purposes, really. As weird as it sounds, I can play a lot of games digitally, like illegally probably, but yeah, it's all part of collecting, isn't it? So yeah, today finally gonna go and show some retro, but first I'm gonna show some non-retro because you know I was going to be doing a hardware special of all the hardware that I picked up in the last 6-7 months. However, I had one issue, and I would like to get it right before I show it off and everything like that, which I'm sure it will be, and I can't wait to show it. But I'll just have to wait a little bit longer until that day. But yeah, all of this stuff is what I've picked up over the last 6 months or so. However, this isn't retro, but this was going to be part of the hardware pickups. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah, waffle a bit, don't I? Go on for like proper tangents, like I'm doing now. But yeah, it is the 8-bit dough keyboard. So this thing is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to properly utilize this. I've got myself a little PC set up and everything like that. So I wanted to get a decent keyboard, and yeah, I saw this a few months ago and pre-ordered it. It literally just came out last week, got delivered, and I've just been constantly clicking the keys because they make such a nice sound and they return perfectly, and it's in the NES colours. I mean, this thing is the most quality thing I've ever seen in a keyboard ever. Yeah, so it's like wireless. Obviously, got a little dongle. If you've seen the 8-bit dough, you'll recognise this dongle. It themes very nicely to the arcade stick that they have, which I don't have yet, which eventually I'm going to take a load of crap to CX and hopefully get one, hopefully. But yeah, it would be nice to pair it up with this keyboard, and I'd love a mouse to look like this as well. They do an NES looking mouse, but it's a bit crappy looking, and it's not got a scroll wheel, so it's not like this sort of like modern technology. They've kind of like, these 8-bit dough really sort of like up the game with making retro inspired products. The keys remind you of like the old was it HP keyboards, is it, in the way they're sort of like rounded at the keys. Honestly, I could press keys on this all day. It's probably annoying a few people, but weirdly, and I was kind of like unsure what to think about this, but it also comes with these two giant buttons. I've been talking to Dylan about this quite a lot because he knows I was waiting for this to come, and we was wondering what we could do about this. And I think the only logical thing to do is get an NES emulator and play track and field with it. That's going to be fantastic, I think. Can't wait to do a bit of track and field with these buttons and probably break them. So yeah, that is the only modern stuff I'm going to show, even though it's sort of like retro inspired. The rest is purely Megadrive games that I've had over the last 6 months. Definitely, probably February, March time. I probably got the first one. I can't remember what order I got them in. A few I've had recently. But yeah, let's go through it, shall we? First up, we have got Granada. So this is a game that I've always been interested in. I think what first brought me to this is the fact that there is a PAL version of this that comes with an extra booklet and everything like that. However, it's still like a fully fledged Japanese sort of game. And I always thought this game was called Granada X just because of that border around the edge. And I know a lot of other people have called it Granada X as well. But yeah, it's actually just Granada. So what is this game? Is it a shooter? It's hard to say. I wouldn't call it a fully fledged shooter. It's sort of like a tank game where you kind of like almost run and gun style where you're going around like in all directions basically. I've still not to play this game. I'm kind of like dubious. It sounds like it'll be a good twin stick shooter, but obviously with the Megadrive you don't have the option. But yeah, this has got some incredible artwork. It's so cool. Hopefully I've shown some gameplay footage here as well. But yeah, one I'm very much looking forward to. And again, we were talking about box art porn. Very much could be on that list. Next up, so I can remember seeing this. I thought I'd just put a cheeky bid on it. And I ended up winning it. I wasn't too bothered about getting it. It wasn't in my sort of like remit of games that I wanted to get back. But it kind of is really, and it's Ghostbusters. So yeah, this went for stupidly cheap. In fact, all of this went for stupidly cheap. I don't think I paid more than 50 quid for any game. And that's including one of the big heavy hitters. Most of it is like about 20 quid games, if not less. And this was, I think, 25 quid. I think it was so cheap. And when you consider how much the PAL version's going for, which I sold, which I don't think I even had a manual in it. I think I got double the amount of what I paid for this. And I kind of like the artwork a bit better. At least I love that spine. That black and red spine looks fantastic. You don't see this very much in sort of like the PAL games. In fact, I don't think there is anything like it. Again, complete. That manual looks so much better. This game, like, what more I thought about it, it makes more sense to get this game in my new Japanese collection that I'm going for. This was a game that I really was looking forward to getting so much. I always used to see it at car boots, but I always ended up having other games before I ever found this. So I've always spent my money. I don't know how that ever happened. Never saw it for rental or anything like that, which is quite unusual, I would say, to say what kind of subject it is. So it was always like on the back of my mind of like all the screenshots that I saw over the years. And I eventually played it on a PAL system, and yeah, it was worth the wait. I've got to say, this is one of the best platforming games. Hard as nails. It's to say how cute it looks. This is a bloody hard game. I'm trying to think who made this game, but yeah, it's made by a Japanese studio, which is very unusual for these kind of like licensed games. But yeah, really cool. And I think that's why this is actually still quite affordable, because if this was made by a Western studio, it would be probably a lot more expensive. Next up, I think this is the only game I've got with no manual. Yeah, no manual. And it's American. But this was highly recommended by James, Import Gamer, and it was Championship ProAm. Sorry. And yeah, as you can see, no manual. This is an American copy. We didn't get this over here in the UK, which again, very unusual to say it was made by Rare. And I don't think this came out in Japan as well, which is the reason why I got this. I remember this got posted very unusually. It was posted in a jiffy bag like that. Never seen that before. Kind of maybe a good idea, I don't know, because sometimes you can get them squashed if you have it like this, if too much weight's on it. Because it was such a cheap game, it was posted like in a cheap way, I guess. I suppose if they wouldn't have done it in a more expensive game. But yeah, I played this before I moved, I think it was, when I got this. And bloody hell, this game, it was so enjoyable. And then all of a sudden, the difficulty just ramped up incredibly. First time I've ever played it, like I say, recommended by James, Import Gamer, and I know he knows his stuff. Still kind of on the fence of this. I think I prefer the NES version, but plays very much like the NES version with better graphics, but it just kicks your ass. Probably one of the most in fact, this is the most expensive game I bought. Again, I can't remember. I think I might have got this before I moved. This is how long ago this is how long ago it was, and it is Valis SD Valis, or in America it's called Cida Valis. SD is sort of like denotes the fact it's super deformed. So it's basically a QT style of the Valis series. And do you know what? I really like this game. I've played it on an emulator ages ago, and it was always like on the back of my mind to play, to keep playing. And yeah, it's sort of a lot easier than the normal Valis series. I've only like delved into the Valis series a few times, mainly on PC Engine. But yeah, like I just never know if I really like Valis games. They're pretty good. They're like run and gun action game. Run and gun. They're not really a gun. Run platforming action games is what it is. But yeah, this is super deformed, cute style. And yeah, I think this is my favourite in this series. Very basic compared to a lot of other Mega Drive games, but quite colourful for a Mega Drive game. Really cool. And like I say, look at that. The artwork in the manual is pretty cool. I've noticed as well, I think there's a lot of spine fade. I've noticed this happens quite a lot with Japanese Mega Drive games. Yeah, I don't know why. Next up, we have got a non-spine faded game. What a fantastic one. Again, so cheap as well. And this was actually... I bought this with another game that will come in another episode. With Dylan, we went to Arcade Club about a month ago or so, and we talked about a couple of games and how we'd been watching them on eBay, and I just put a stupid bid for these two games. Not a bid, like an offer, that was it. And they accepted, and I was like, Dylan, you can't believe it. I've just got this for like 20 quid, I think it was, and it's Hellfire. Yeah, I always get this and what's the other one? All Your Base Belong to Us, mixed up in the gameplay wise, and it's even more confusing now because there is a compilation of them two games together, so that's going to make me even more confused. Yeah, Hellfire is definitely the one I remember. It's as in the one that you can rotate your weapons, so you have 4 different styles of weapons that all have like sort of like different attributes, sort of like different directions, and it's almost sort of like a precursor to Ikaruga in some ways, as in it's almost like you could call it a puzzle shooter, as you get puzzle platformers very much spoken about, but like you don't really hear about puzzle shooters. But I think this is you don't lose your loadout pretty much. You always have them 4 weapons up for your disposal, so you'll always be able to go through the levels and have the preferred weapon. You just got to remember how to go through the levels, and it's quite a good, clever game. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to play this because you need to put your thinking head on, whereas this game totally you don't. And wow, this artwork on here is absolutely amazing, and it's Valis for the Mega Drive. Again, this has really spiked in price on the the PAL Mega Drive. So I'm glad I've got the Japanese version, because this was about third of the price of what I sold mine for, I think. And it's got twice the better graphics on the box art. This is flipping stunning. It's one of them that like sort of like has the artwork spreading from the front to the back. Absolutely love that style. Such a cool style of artwork. But yeah, this game is another game that is like really easy. Like it's one of them games that you can just play and like just not really think about too much until you get, I can't remember what level it is, but then it just absolutely just decimates you, because you need to go into it thinking, and sometimes you just kind of, it's so easy to start with that you kind of you kind of turn your brain off a little bit. But yeah, what I like about these Japanese Mega Drive games is they all have the little Mega Drive on the top, the MD, and I think that's making me feel a bit addicted to getting Mega Drive games. I'm not gonna lie, that little lineup of MD is really cool, and as you can see, that one's a little bit more faded than the rest. But yeah, really cool to get. And like I say, I'm just slowly but surely, well, actually, I say slowly. Well, no, it's been a few months. But yeah, trying to replace the games that I really wanted to keep in my collection. And this next one was another one of them. And it is Devil's Crash. It's Devil's Crash. This is Dragons, not Revenge, Dragons something in the UK. And Dragon, can't remember. There's Dragon's Revenge, I think, is the sequel to this one, which is quite expensive. In fact, this is a lot more expensive than you'd expect it to be, because the PAL one is like a tenner or something like that, and this is about three, 4 times that. I again got this for a bloody song I did, so very, very pleased with that one. Still got the bubble wrap in it. I've only just set my consoles up, so I've not got around to playing them all yet, so they might not even work. But yeah, this, I've not even said what kind of game this is. So again, very different to the shooter onslaught that I've been showing you. This is actually a pinball game, a very demon inspired pinball game, and has such great music. This is very highly regarded, made by Renovation, who is like another, well, they did really good work on the Megadrive. Yeah, this is just kind of, I'm really glad I've got this back. And again, the box art for the Megadrive, the Japanese Megadrive one, is head and shoulders above the PAL one. Next up, this is a pretty cool cover. It's sort of like very understated until you start really looking into it, and it's called Axis. Again, I think the spine is a little bit faded on this one. It's like faded in like more so in the middle, but I don't know, that might just be how this is. So this when I first saw this, I thought this was just going to be an RPG game, again because it was so priced so cheaply, and then I found out it was not Front Mission. Oh my god, this is going to do my nutting, and I don't want to go up here to get a game because Marcus will just cry. What's it called? I'm kicking myself. Hopefully I'll put something down here, but it's the Front Mission. No, it's not that. It's like it's a run and gun isometric mech game. Sorry, I'm thinking of too many things in one go here. Run and gun mech game. The sequel is on the PC Engine, which is what I'm trying to think of, and has got like really cheesy in English cutscenes, which has sort of like made it famous. And this one sort of like is under the radar. But yeah, this one is also very complete. Very pleased with this one. The manual is so beautiful inside. Yeah, I've noticed Japanese Mega Drive games don't fare as well as Japanese Super Famicom games, which is very strange. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but alas, no, it's not. However, it's still great condition and fantastic. Really looking forward to playing this. Not played this game before, but I have played the PC Engine one, which was quite good. It's not the best, but it is quite good. Wow, now we are going top tier artwork here, top tier for pennies as well. It's like, I think this was like 15 quid or something stupid. And it is Gynog or Ginog. How do you say it? I say Gynog. We need Sean here to be the adjudicator, but Gynog is how I've always called this game, so it will always be called Gynog. But yeah, that artwork is something special. Full box art, unlike the PAL one. I mean, there is something to be said about the PAL box art and borders and stuff like that, but come on guys, we need to unleash that artwork to the full glory that it is on here. What can you say about Gynog that's not been said before? This is a little bit different. I think there's not been many horizontal shooters. No, there's been a couple of horizontal shooters, but this is another one, and there's quite a running theme here. There's a lot of mythical shooters that are in this lot, and yeah, this is one of the better ones, and I think that's why it is so cheap, because everyone bought this game. It's such an iconic game, I think. Yeah, fantastic. I absolutely love collecting. It's like I've been enjoying this because I'm enjoying selling the games to then buy them back. Does that make sense? It's like a new addiction that I've got, that of like renewing what I've had in my life. But it's good because what I'm getting back is so much more better looking. Next, we've got a PAL game. Can you believe we have got a PAL game? And it is Gyriz. So there'll be some question on this one. Is it a PAL release? Is it not? Now, this is 100% a Japanese game. 100% Japanese. However, I believe, can't remember what company it was, but they imported a load of these, made adverts and stuff like that, and they had releases in like actual retail stores. So to me, this is a retail release game, and not only that, but I can't remember who it was. Was it maybe EA? They did a lot of the I think Saturn shooters used to come across here. But yeah, this has got like a printed manual in European. But where this one goes a little bit further is there's also another amendment in other languages here, which is really cool. I always wanted to get one of these. I think there's about 4 games that are like this, where they had like sort of other like released language manuals. There could even be more, I don't even know. I think it's sort of like known as 4. I've seen quite a lot of people talk about the ones with the stickers on there. These also has a sticker on the back over the blurb in English and other languages, which is so cool. But yeah, I'm not even talking about the game, we're just talking about the bloody box on this. But yeah, this is one of my top 5 Mega Drive games. Could even be top. Unfortunately, look at this, I've got bloody, I need to readjust this front, it's slipping down. But yeah, I again so lucky to get this. Stu 2 UK beat me to the punch on a PAL one of these as well. He got it for an absolute bargain price, and then James Import Gamer soon after got another one from Craig, and I was like, my days are gone, I'm never going to get one. And then somehow this is the cheapest copy I've ever seen in all the years of me collecting, because it's one that I've always wanted, but just never had a focus of getting Japanese games unless I could for a stupidly cheap price. And yeah, I've been looking for it, and it came up the right price. Very lucky, no one bidded on it. I think the reason why no one bid on this was because of the stickers. For me, this adds value to it, but I think to a lot of people that don't realize, probably think that it's sort of like a repro cover, maybe because they've never seen it before. That's the only explanation why I think this game went for so cheap. I don't understand, but yeah, I'm so glad it did go for a great price, and I've finally got this in my collection. Again, this is a horizontal shooter, top tier. You sort of like take control of some of the ships, and then it gives you a different ability to fire with. Really cool concept. What is it? I'm just looking over there. G-Darius on the PS1 did a very similar sort of like concept after this, but this is the first game that I know that ever did that sort of like idea of taking on abilities from other ships. Pretty cool indeed. But yeah, that is a rundown. I think that's 10 Mega Drive games, 10 absolutely belters, I think. But there's even more gold in the box here from Craig's Here Again, from two trips to Craig's Here Again. I've got some other games from other systems as well. Like I say, I've even though I've been selling up, I've still been casually hoarding for this moment of being able to enjoy things a bit more focused. And I don't think you can get any more focused than just getting the games that you really love. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully the next one that you'll see will be a hardware special. If not, I've got loads to show. It's okay. I'll be around. Don't you worry. See you later, guys, on the next one.